Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I'd like to discuss how Kemi Badenoch, who wants to shape the future direction of the Conservative Party after the election, has called on bosses to drop the woke agenda and how easy it is to corrupt statistics in order to lie to the public. Only there's a small number of issues with what Kemi Badenoch's saying here to company bosses. Stop the woke agenda, people don't like it. And it should be raising a few eyebrows. First, aren't Conservatives, and especially the free market capitalists, which back Badenoch, aren't they supposed to believe in not interfering in the way private companies do things? That's why they always want to strip away regulation. Oh no, let the businesses do their own thing. They'll be much more efficient, much more productive if you just leave them alone. And so where are all the free market commentators? Why aren't they telling her to pipe down? Kemi Badenoch's telling bosses of big companies what to do, how to run their business. Why aren't they all saying, Kemi, sit down? Almost as if they don't actually believe their own ideology. And that's the problem I have with a lot of people on the right. I mean, people can say things they can mix up opinions with facts, and they can sort of think they're right and everyone else is wrong. But most people, when they express a political view, at least believe it themselves. There's a lot of people on the far right don't even believe their own stuff. Second issue, however, is that Badenoch claims that she has polling which shows that diversity is a turn-off to many customers. Now, this should immediately trigger a bit of a critical review. After all, the business world is huge collectively, individual businesses, and the most successful companies take market research very seriously. What are the chances that collectively the business world, with its goodness knows how expensive research, could be missing something that a cabinet minister with a history of not understanding how trade works has somehow discovered? So the article had to be read. I'm afraid it was in the Sunday Express, but never mind. Presumably the poll referenced in the headline would feature strongly in the article. No, not exactly. It did get a mention though. So it turns out this is a poll for Policy Exchange, which is one of the most opaque right-wing think tanks out there. It's where Rishi Sunak did his little speech last week. And by opaque, we mean it's not at all clear where their funding comes from because they don't reveal the details. In other words, we do not know exactly who is paying them to publish the views they're publishing. But given that they're constantly publishing views which would be to the benefit of billionaire free market capitalists, we can sort of guess who funds them. And they publish lots of content arguing for free market capitalism, which again makes the idea of encouraging the government to tell private business owners what to do all the more bizarre. Needless to say, there was no link to the poll itself. Probably just as well, it was carried out by Delta Poll, famous for making a lot of basic errors in their political polling. Although it was People polling, Matt Goodwin's outfit, that took the biscuit last week, they managed to come up with a voting intention poll which gave the SNP no votes at all. And that obvious error, and people were able to point out where they'd gone badly wrong, and yet they still published the results. No one looked at it and went, oh, we've got the SNP on 0% of the vote here. That's probably wrong. Should we have a look at our data again? No, just publish it. We can't be asked. But Delta Poll are a little better. So what we have here is an opaquely funded think tank hiring a low-confidence polling company, which is claiming it has research which shows that the market research of the business world has got it wrong. You will forgive me for being sceptical. Especially as, although there's no link to the so-called research itself, there are little tidbits in the Express article. For example, it says that on the issue of certain progressive causes, it cites specifically transgender rights or Palestinian statehood, which, by the way, is official government policy in this country, that the majority said it would make no difference or they'd be less likely to buy. Now, this is where the lies, damned lies and statistics comes in. So let me explain how even a decent poll can be warped into the wrong conclusions with deliberately incompetent analysis, or just genuinely incompetent analysis, come to it. So let me just make up some figures. I don't know what the figures are. They didn't link to the poll. I can't be bothered to find it. So let's make up some figures. Let's take trans rights just for example. So let's say I conduct a survey asking consumers if they would be more or less likely to buy from a company which promotes the cause, or if it would make no difference. So those are the options. Yes, I'd be more likely to buy from this company. I'd actually be less likely to buy from this company. It makes no difference to me. Okay. Now, let's say 40% it would say that it would make them more likely to buy. Oh, I approve of that. Yes, I'm more likely to use that company. 15% say less likely to buy. No, I don't like that. I won't buy from that company. And 45% say it makes no difference. Now, if you look at those figures, you would say that promoting the cause would be a good marketing decision because it attracts more customers than it repels, right? But if I say, as Policy Exchange have, that a majority would be either less likely to buy or it would make no difference, then that is mathematically true based on these figures. It's just not valid to say it. It is putting those who don't mind either way with the side that you want to support to distort your conclusion without the raw data having any problems at all. But while they say a majority would be less likely to buy, it would make no difference, I could say with those same figures, 85% say they'd be more likely to buy or it would make no difference. Same data, but the analysis is now getting you to draw completely the opposite conclusion, isn't it? And that, as I say, is assuming the data itself is all fine and the analysis has just been fiddled. But the data can be fiddled. You know, a polling company will do whatever its customer wants them to do. For example, let us say the poll targets people who are not representative of the consumers targeted by a particular company, right? Even the raw data is rendered useless then. Give you an example. So Lush promotes some decent causes. Wetherspoons promote batshit causes, right? Like Brexit. So if I do a poll that asks largely Wetherspoons customers, who are consumers, I could say, I could get my consumer poll from, say, Wetherspoons, and I ask them about the sort of causes promoted by Lush, it would seem that Lush are not doing themselves any favours. I'm not trying to stereotype like Wetherspoons customers here, but should we just say a larger number of them are likely to be in favour of Wetherspoons causes than Lush's causes. So you could deliberately target the wrong pool of consumers for a particular business. Because two businesses can have particularly two businesses that do promote political causes can therefore have very different types of customer. There are so many ways in which you can run a survey in order to get the results you want. And then even if the results aren't quite what you're after, you then carry out a buffoon level analysis in order to make claims that might work on people not skilled or experienced in analysing data or who don't question it, who just go, oh, a poll said this, therefore in their minds a poll said this. No. And the thing is, the big businesses, they're not going to be fooled by this. They're not going to change their business practice because some bonehead with a fake poll told them to. They have their market research, and their market research is tailored to them. It identifies and questions their customers and potential customers. They know what they're doing, and they, if they hire a polling company, they will make sure that polling company does what they want it to do. When a large company throws its weight behind a progressive cause, most of us aren't naive enough to think that the board of executives are just really nice people and putting progressive politics ahead of their profits. No, they're doing it because it's profitable. The reason they promote these causes is because their market research tells them that it attracts more custom than it costs them. The same principle applies with the pressure that has been put on various companies to say not advertise on GB News. Now, some companies under that pressure decided to pull their adverts from GB News. Those will be the customers who found that it was putting their customers off the association. So the pressure worked. Now, there are some other companies who have been put under the same pressure, but they continue to advertise on GB News. That shows that their market research says that their customers aren't actually that bothered, so they carry on. That's how it works. And both Policy Exchange and Badenoch will know this. Policy Exchange definitely will. It's actually hard to know what Badenoch does and does not know. But they're not really trying to persuade businesses to stop backing progressive campaigns. Apart from anything else, they don't really care about them. Like, if you're a shady free market capitalist lobby group, why do you care if the two-state solution is implemented in the Middle East? Or if trans people are treated with a bit of dignity? You don't, do you? It doesn't help you. The reason both these lobbyists and the politicians aligned with them want to push these messages is purely to pretend that they've identified certain problems holding back our economic growth and have the solutions for it. They can't point to the real reasons our economy is being held back, because they are the reason. Much better to come up with pretend reasons and ridiculous solutions. In fact, the more ridiculous, the better, because people won't choose to adopt ridiculous solutions. So they'll never be put to the test. It's what allows Nigel Farage to continue his grift. The reason Brexit is a disaster, he says, because it wasn't done right. She did it as I said to do it. But nobody, not even the current crazies we have in government, would actually do what the likes of Farage propose, because it would completely tank our economy and we would actually end up with a popular uprising. But in terms of the politics, it does give the impression that the Conservatives, if led by either Badenoch or people like Badenoch, they are going to continue to pursue fantasy policies based on a warped reality which does not actually exist. So this should at least be good for a bit of light entertainment in opposition at least. But hopefully this video has shown you some of the easy ways in which polls can be twisted to say whatever you want them to say. Please beware of anyone saying they have a poll that says a thing. 70% of the time it's lies, 25% of the time it's damned lies, and only 5% of the time is it actually statistics. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for further content and click the like button. You can also sign up for memberships if you'd like to support the channel further. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.